there, and welcome back to Scorekeeping by Kenosha Opera Festival. Let's play a game. I'm going to play 3 seconds of a song, and I bet you'll know what it is. No, the other one. No, the other one. Yes, that one. I bet you recognized it, and I didn't even play the singing part. It's definitely not surprising that it rings a bell, because this aria, the Habanera from Bizet's opera Carmen, is featured throughout decades of pop culture. But before we dive into its modern influence, let's unpack its origins and what we're actually hearing. The actual word habanera doesn't originate from this aria. Habanera, otherwise called contradanza, is the Spanish and Spanish-American version of the contradance, which was an internationally popular style of music and dance in the 18th century. It's derived from the English country dance and was adopted by France. It became particularly important to Cuba during the 19th century, as it was the first written music to be rhythmically based on an African rhythm pattern, and the first Cuban dance to gain international popularity before the mambo and the cha-cha-cha. In the rest of the world, the Cuban contradanza became known as the habanera, the dance of Havana. Although Bizet had never traveled to Cuba or Spain, he wanted to incorporate authentic Spanish music to his score. The Habanera aria is based on the song El Arreglito by Spanish composer Sebastián Yridir. When Bizet first heard this song, he actually thought it was a folk song and he ripped it off for his score. But once he figured out that the song was written by Yridir, though, good guy Bizet added a note to the vocal score, giving him credit. The opera itself is set in Spain, and the characters are Spanish, but the libretto is French. It had a very scandalous premiere in 1875 due to its breaking of conventions, but has since become one of the most popular and frequently performed operas in the classical canon. The beautiful Carmen is ignored throughout her performance of this aria by the soldier Don Jose, but she approaches him at the end and eventually seduces him. Spoilers! It doesn't end well. The aria begins in a minor key, which is most often associated with sad or dark themes. Carmen asks, "When will I love you? Good Lord, I don't know. Maybe never. Maybe tomorrow. But not today, that's for sure." At this moment, the tone shifts with a transition to the major key. She repeats l'amour, obviously, love, and eventually launches into her thesis, so to say, as she sings that love is a rebellious bird that none can tame. She warns that if I love you, be on your guard, making clear how unpredictable, uncontrollable, and even dangerous love can be. The orchestra contributes to this sense of sneakiness, leading to surprise with its low-pitched, arpeggiated, almost simplistic undercurrent, offset with sudden, bright explosions of upwards-pitched chorus and full orchestra. In hindsight, perhaps Carmen should have taken her own advice about being on her guard. Spoilers? Does it even count if it's been over 150 years? Okay, fine. Anyway, Carmen bails on Don Jose for Escamillo, and Don Jose kills her in a jealous rage. There. Now you know. Bizet's killer opera, pun absolutely intended, has risen to incomparable fame. By the year 2011, the Met had performed Carmen over 1,000 times. A very well-known adaptation of the opera is Carmen Jones. First, the 1943 musical by Oscar Hammerstein, and then later, the 1954 movie musical produced and directed by Otto Preminger. If you have watched movies or television in the last, 100 years or so, you have probably witnessed some reference to Carmen. According to IMDb, the habanera is featured in over 136 films. You might have seen some unique interpretations of it as presented by The Muppets, Sesame Street, Tom and Jerry, Gilligan's Island, and Disney Pixar's Up. Even Doritos had its finger in the habanera pie when it released a Super Bowl ad featuring the famous aria in 2007. And despite the fact that Carmen is a French opera with a Spanish setting, its music has frequently been heard in pasta commercials.
I make a lasagna, I take all day.
But what I really want to talk to you about today is way more hip than all of that combined. That's right. I'm about to break down Carmen, a hip opera, an MTV movie musical starring the one, the only Beyonce Knowles. The film is described as a hip-hop opera set in the criminal justice system. The storyline is relatively faithful to the original tale, but Carmen Brown in this version is a free-spirited Philadelphia girl dying for a big break in Hollywood and is forced to decide between a hard-working young police officer and a flashy rap star. MTV asked the screenwriter and executive producer, Michael Elliott, about whether he thought hip-hop artists would embrace something like this, going from dialogue back to rapping, or would they think it was corny? He said, and I quote, "No, not at all. When you listen to a lot of the hip-hop albums, there are songs that are very much like mini operas." That being said, a lot of the doom and gloom of the original plot was softened for this MTV release. Elliott said he found the original opera's plot too bloody, even for the fans of Eminem and Dr. Dre. Bizet's Carmen and the ever-popular Habanera are deeply embedded in modern culture, from Disney to MTV to cartoons to Super Bowl ads. I'm sure you've got your favorite Carmen or Habanera reference in mind. Drop it in the comments, and also let us know if you have other favorite opera in pop culture references that we should explore in future episodes of Scorekeeping. I am thrilled that you made it to the end of this video. Seriously, it means a lot. What would mean even more is if you would like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with someone that you know who likes the habanera, which honestly is like everybody, right? Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have an awesome and operatic day.